Hey guys, welcome to my channel Stalk My Closet. For today's project, I have taken cotton fabric. This is the measurement I'm using. You can adjust it according to your requirement. Firstly, I'll cut the top, and for that I have cut out the required length, that is 23 inch, and I've added 2 inch for seam allowance. I've folded the fabric twice in width. Now I'll mark the measurements. For shoulder, take half of shoulder width. In my measurement, shoulder width is 14 inch, so half of it is 7 inch. Neck width is 3 inch. Mark half inch downwards for shoulder slope and join it to the neck width point. For armhole, take half of armhole round, that is 7 inch in my measurement. I'm deducting half inch as this is sleeveless top. Extend this point. Now mark 1 inch inwards and join it to the shoulder slope point. From the top, mark a point at 10.5 inch shoulder to burst point, 14 inch shoulder to waist point, and 21 inch shoulder to hip point. Extend these points. Now I'll mark the round measurements. For chest, I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, chest round is 30 inch. 30 plus 2 is 32, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8. For burst, again I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, burst round is 31 inch. 31 plus 2 is 33, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.25 inch. For waist, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, waist round is 26 inch. 26 plus 3 is 29, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 7.25 inch. For hip, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, hip round is 36 inch. 36 plus 3 is 39, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 9.75 inch. Join these points. Adding 1 inch for seam allowance. Now I'll draw front and back armhole curves. So with this, marking is complete. Now I'll cut it. To cut front armhole curve, separate the back. Fold the front part again. Now I'll cut the front armhole curve. So this cutting of top is complete. Now I'll cut PJ pants, and for that I have cut out the required length from the fabric, and I have folded the fabric by half in width. Now I'll mark the measurements. In my measurement, pants length is 33 inch. I've taken 2 inch extra. I'll decide final length after trying, so I'll just adjust the length later on. For waist, take hip round measurement, add ease and divide it by 4. In my measurement, hip round is 36 inch. I'm adding 4 inch of ease. 36 plus 4 is 40, and dividing it by 4, I'll get 10 inch. So I'll mark a point at 10. For crotch, divide hip round measurement by 3 and deduct 1 inch out of it. In my measurement, hip round is 36 inch. Dividing it by 3, I'll get 12, and 12 minus 1 is 11. So I'll mark a point at 11 inch. Extend this point. Mark waist measurement on the crotch line, that is 10 inch, and join both points. Now on the crotch line, mark half of upper thigh round. In my measurement, upper thigh round is 22 inch and half of it is 11. So I'll mark a point at 11 inch. Now I'll draw front crotch curve. Mark midpoint on this line. This is 11 inch, so midpoint will be 5.5 inch. Mark same point on the bottom round. From the unfold side, I'll mark a point at 5.5 inch. Now on this line, mark half of bottom round. In my measurement, bottom round is 18 inch, so half of it will be 9. Taking this point as center, I'll mark 4.5 inch on both sides. Join these points. These are PJ pants, so I'm marking straight line. You can also use shape ruler. Adding seam allowance. So I've cut the front part. Now I'll cut the back, and for that I have cut out the required length and I've folded the fabric by half in width. Now place the front on the back. For back, we need to take 1.5 or 2 inch extra in length and keep that extra length on the upper side. Now from the front crotch point, mark straight line to the top. For back crotch, I'll add 1.5 inch from the front crotch point. I'm including front seam allowance, so I don't need to add extra seam allowance. Now I'll draw back crotch curve. On the bottom part, I'll add 1 inch extra. Join these points. Mark 1.5 inch on the top and join it to the front waist point. So back marking is complete. Now I'll cut it. With this, pants cutting is complete. Now I'll cut the shorts. To cut the shorts, I have folded the fabric by half in width. Firstly, I'll mark the length, which is 17 inch in my measurement. So in general, you need to add 1.5 inch for seam allowance and deduct 1.5 inch for belt. 17 plus 1.5 minus 1.5 is 17, so I'll mark a point at 17 inch. Pants and shorts marking is almost similar. So for waist, take hip round measurement, add ease and divide it by 4. In my measurement, hip round is 36 inch. I'm adding 4 inch of ease. 36 plus 4 is 40 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 10 inch. For crotch, divide hip round measurement by 3 and deduct 1 inch out of it. In my measurement, hip round is 36 inch. 36 divided by 3 is 12 and 12 minus 1 is 11. So I'll mark a point at 11 inch. Extend this point. Mark waist measurement, that is 10 inch, and join both points. On crotch line, mark half of upper thigh round, that is 22 inch in my measurement. So half of it is 11. Now I'll draw front crotch curve. Now on this line, I'll mark half of bottom round. In my measurement, bottom round is 24 inch and half of it is 12, so I'll mark a point at 12 inch. Join it to the crotch point, adding seam allowance. Now I'll cut it. So front part cutting is complete. Now I'll cut the back. Place the front on the back. Take 1.5 inch extra length on the upper side. From the front crotch point, mark straight line to the top and take 1.5 inch extra from the front crotch point for back. Now I'll draw back crotch curve. Extend back bottom round by 1 inch. Join these points, adding seam allowance. So with this, marking is complete. Now I'll cut it. So I've cut the shorts. I'll cut pants and shorts belts later after stitching front and back side. Firstly, I'll stitch the top. For front neckline, I have cut round shape with small V cut. And to finish it, I have cut out the piece from the same fabric as facing. Now place the facing on the neckline, right sides together, and from the back side of the top, make a stitch in the neckline shape. So I made a stitch and I've cut the facing in the neckline shape. I've also made small cuts all around the neckline. Now turn the facing towards the wrong side. Fold it by half like this. Now to finish the edges, you can make a stitch or you can do hemming. For back, I have cut round shape, and to finish the back neckline, I am using bias tape. Place the bias tape on the neckline right sides together and make a stitch. So I made a stitch. Now turn the bias tape towards the wrong side. Like this, and make a stitch on the inner edge. So I made a stitch. Now I'll trim the excess fabric. Now place the front on the back. Overlap the back bias tape like this and make a shoulder stitch. So I have stitched shoulder slope on both sides. Now I'll make a stitch on the back neckline. Now I'll finish armholes using bias tape as I did for the back neckline. So I finished both armholes. Now I'll finish the bottom round. Double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge. Similarly, I'll stitch the other side. Now I'll stitch the side fitting seam. Similarly, I'll stitch the other side, and with this top stitching is complete, now I'll stitch the pants. To stitch pants, take one front part and one back part. Place front on the back, right sides together. Join both sides bottom rounds together. Now I'll stitch the side seam. So I have stitched side seam and I've overlocked it. Now I'll finish the bottom round, and for that just double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge. So I finished the bottom round. Now I'll stitch the inner seam. So I have stitched both sides. Now to join the crotch, turn one side inside out. Now insert right side into the wrong side like this. Join crotch center points and then both front side of crotch and back side of crotch together. Now I'll make a stitch. Now I'll attach the belt. I'll be adding 1 inch wide elastic. I've taken belt width 3.5 inch and belt length 22 inch. I've taken 1.5 inch extra which I'll trim on later. I've cut belt in 2 layers. Firstly, I'll join both parts of belt. Now place the belt on the pants waist, right sides together, and make a stitch. So I've attached belt all around the waist. Now I'll stitch end points of the belt. So I've stitched the end points. Now I'll attach it with the belt. So I have attached the belt. Now I'll fold it by half, and for that I have folded and ironed the seam allowance on the top side. Now I'll just fold the belt by half and make a stitch on the inner side. While stitching, leave 1 inch or 1.5 inch of space to insert the elastic. So I've left the space for elastic. Now I'll insert the elastic. I have taken elastic 1 inch less than the waist round measurement, and I'm using safety pin to insert the elastic. So I've inserted the elastic. Now overlap both end points and make a stitch to secure it. Now stretch the elastic and close the opening left to insert the elastic. Now I'll stitch the shorts. Take one piece from both front and back. Place front on the back, right sides together. Firstly, I'll stitch the side seam and then I'll finish the bottom round and then inner seam. Similarly, I'll stitch the other side. So I've stitched both sides. Now I'll join the crotch, and for that turn one side inside out. Insert right side into the wrong side. Join front and back crotch points and make a stitch. So I've stitched the crotch. Now I'll attach the belt. Just measure the bottom waist and cut the belt 2 or 2.5 inch extra. Belt width is 3.5 inch. I've cut belt in 2 layers. Now I'll attach the belt. So I've attached the belt and I've left around 1.5 inch of space to insert the elastic. So I've inserted the elastic. Now join both ends of elastic and make a stitch to secure it. So I made a messy stitch and just stretch the elastic. Now close the opening left to insert the elastic. Now I'll make few stitches on the belt. It helps to keep elastic in place and it distributes the gathers equally. To make a stitch on the belt, keep stitch length between 3 or 4. And with this, PJ set is ready and this is how it looks. Thanks for watching guys. I hope you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and do subscribe my channel for more such videos. And I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.